So first, I invite Kavisha to start with the presentation.
So, a very good morning, everyone. And today we are going to see how journalism is working in the present world. And to narrow down to particular aspect, we can see how social media, journalism, and democracy are working today. So, in that also, I had opted a certain aspect or a topic for my presentation. That is, yes, Facebook and Twitter as a tool for re-establishing democracy in India. As we all know that we are today having this fake news humors around us, and we are surrounded with all those things in our WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Or in all the applications, we find certain fake news we are surrounded by. So it is very much necessary to understand what is the authentic, what is the actual news today, and how this social media is emerging itself in the world of democracy, and how it is playing a certain role in changing the form of democracy in India. What is journalism, first of all? So journalism is what maintains democracy, and it's the force of progressive social change, as quoted by Andrew Wesch. So my presentation is going to deal with journalism, which is undergoing a significant period of change because of the emergence of social media, and by utilizing certain social media platforms, aims to provide opportunities for the news media to engage with their public in the variety of ways. Earlier, we were saying there was one-to-one communication, where news channels reporters were communicating with the audience. So here we are finding that there are one-to-many communication medium. So when one posts a tweet or one posts a Facebook post, then there are the whole audience, the whole Facebook people are there to comment or to support the idea or support the post of government, news of government, etc. So the presentation aims to understand and examine the present state of freedom of expression and its value in social media journalism. It also how social media is seen in democracy, and it also analyzes the role of Facebook and Twitter in political development, namely in the promotion and re-establishment of democracy. So here is my introduction. In journalism, check what are the important facts, first of all. So checking facts rigorously, relying on reputable and known sources, presenting facts impartially, asking tough questions, and adhering the highest ethical standards as given by Palvic. So these are the important aspects of journalism. Freedom of expression and journalism goes hand in hand, and it supports what is freedom of expression? It supports the mature autonomy in deciding how to communicate with others. It disfavors the restrictions on communication imposed for the sake of distorting rigidities of the orthodox and the established. Why we are saying this? What is freedom of expression? In order to view how current scenario is how the current scenario of journalism is playing a role of a thing which is controlled by government in democracy. And internet, as the emergence of internet, all the realms of social life are open, and social media is playing a more and more important as well as significant role in social, economic, and political development of any country. So the social media platforms acts as a more liberal tool than the normal media, because we can find that newspaper and televisions are controlled media. They are supporting the views of government, and if a particular party, a particular political party is paying for the news, then they will only show the true or the positive aspects of the political party, rather than showing what is the actual reality. So the objectives of this presentation are to highlight the fundamentals of democracy and how social media is playing a role in democracy, as well as how far social media today is believed to be the exercisers of freedom of expression. So here I have used two tools from the social media, that is Facebook and Twitter, that how liberal they are and how control free they are than traditional media. or actual media, rather we can say. Or Facebook and Twitter can be constructive and uniting media also, and they are regarded as public sphere. So how far they are regarded as public sphere today? So first of all, if we see the role of media in democracy, then we can say that a system of government in which the people of a country choose and elect their representatives is called democracy. But here, for a democratic country, it is necessary that to access all the information and to have a freedom to read, write, or express certain important elements for the exposure of truth, to reveal the truth, and to ensure the development of a country. And democracy in general terms is used to be a form of government which is subject to popular sovereignty. So here access to information is, we can say that the health of democracy for at least two reasons. First, it ensures the citizens make a responsible and informed choices rather than acting out of ignorance or misinformation. Secondly, information serves a checking function by ensuring that elected representatives hold their oaths of office and carry out the wishes of those who elected them. So decentralization, anti-corruption, authoritarianism or majoritarianism or citizen participation plays a vital role as far as the democratic political government is concerned. So here today we can see that how media is playing a role in portraying the democratic country India. So here is an Australian journalist, Philip Sherwell, had published this article that Modi leads India into viral apocalypse. So here we can see that how other countries' media are portraying India, and how our own media, that is called India's media, is portraying India. So we can see that other media, that is other countries' media, are portraying India in a very actual manner, even though the Indian government is not giving proper figures of COVID deaths or deaths occurred due to COVID-19. So and here is another article, that is, as COVID-19 devastates India, deaths go undercounted. So here it is by four journalists, and they have given this article in New York Times. The citation is given. So this is the media which is working out of India and publishing something regarding the country, because they are very much concerned with regard to humanity and how social media and democracy. This article was backlashed by the very Indian government, because as this article was published by Australia, so as you can see, they have cited something that Dr. Shahid Jamil from Ashoka University had given the statement, and how this BJP, that is the political party, is working, who has rejected lockdown first of all, and then forced ahead mass gathering, that is from Kumbh Mela festival, as well as this rallies conducted for this election. So it was backlisted as a form of that. This was a tweet by India in Australia, who had tweeted that this letter was delivered to them, saying that they are making a falsified or without any of evidence, they are publishing such articles. Though we can see that this article is speaking so much of truth of today's situation, but they were forced to believe that they were publishing article without any support or evidence, strong support, that also. And this tweet is also cited in citation. Next we see how social media and democracy are concerned. As far as social media and democracy are concerned, this kind of people, that is Revant Reddy, Molek Ghatak, that was the page, and Pawan Khera. So they are also very much concerned about the situation which we are facing, which humanity is facing, and particularly focusing to India, that how the current government is targeted in form of these tweets. And that too, how and why they are why the government is targeted, because they have supported certain mass gatherings which are not to be practiced in the current scenario, but they are supporting it. Whereas they earlier, when we have seen last year, this Tablighi Jamaat people were gathering, so the government was severely criticizing them for their acts. But now, as we can see that majoritarian religion is concerned, so the government is also the authoritarian, and they are supporting this gathering, this religious gathering, which should be avoided as far as this rationality and humanity are concerned. But these tweets are deleted. As we can see, this Facebooker has posted this three photographs with the tweet with the Facebook post that these are the tweets that Twitter was forced to remove after the current government has complained. So there was nothing like fake news in all the tweets. But as far as this Facebook post is concerned, it is saying that these tweets were removed. Why? Because it is targeting the current government. Which should, according to Indian government, should not happen, because one should be proud of India as an Indian citizen. Next, we see that Jordan's health minister tweets over hospital oxygen deaths. This was from the BBC News. And also, the Norway Prime Minister Erna Solberg fined by police over virus rules violation because she has not worn the mask. But as far as India is concerned, whenever anyone tweets like this need oxygen cylinder as soon as possible, as tweeted by Shashank Yadav, FIR is filed against the man who sought the Twitter help because of oxygen for his grandfather. Later we come to know that how these tweeters are also playing with government, that this Ahmedi police had cross-verified certain things from this Twitter handle side, and they came to know that the person hasn't mentioned the details why he is needing oxygen cylinders. But we can come to know from his tweet, though it is partially true only, we can come to know that there is a shortage of oxygen cylinder. But as far as this media is concerned, they are only targeting that government has this shortage of oxygen cylinders. They are not targeting the Ram Mandir episode, when government was investing so much funds in building Ram Mandir or Statue of Unity. So much crores of rupees are vested in that. Instead of building the public hygiene or health services, or giving health services to poor people or the needy people who are infected by COVID-19. As the situation was worsening, the government was very much busy in this religious things and improving its name around the world. So to conclude, we can say that the current news affect our opinions regarding politics and the whole idea of democracy regarding a system of government. So we can say that journalists like Ravish Kumar and Punya Prasun Bajpai, both the journalists are playing a vital role in revealing the deeper truths of this country. But but other media are overpowering them in order to highlight certain positive aspects of government. And as far as the people like an activist or revolutionaries like Disha Ravi kind of person are concerned, then government is forcefully trapping them for withdrawing the tweets or withdrawing the statements made as an allegation against the government of India. So when a government political leader is puts a tweet, then there are certain people who are not going to get agreed with the tweet. So in earlier media, when there was one-to-one communication, so the political leader would give a speech and then the audience will follow. But here we are having, as far as social media, we are having this one-to-many communicative medium. So when the political party is putting a tweet and the other rational human beings which are thinking for themselves as a human beings or as a citizen of a country, then they are not agreeing to such political tweets, then they will raise their voice against them. So when they will raise their voice, how it is very much concerning to see that how far their tweets are answered, or how far the tweets are even noticed. And if they tweet against the political leaders' tweet, then the people under their people who will comment under his or her tweet will be very much hideous, and this kind of rational person will face the backlash as far as the social media journalism is concerned, because each and every individual, we can say that they are thinking human beings, and those who are thinking will always react to the things which are not appropriate in this pandemic. And it is very sorry state, we can say that it is very sorry as well as concerning state for the activists and revolutionaries who are playing a rational role in journalism or as an individual human being. So are both the tools actually supporting the whole rational idea of public opinion which are central to democratic system, or are they hampering the current? So we can say that firstly, for the first question, we can say that it is not actually supporting the rational idea of public opinions, because as far as we can see that certain tweets are removed by government. And today morning only, if you have seen that certain with hashtag resign Modi Facebook posts were removed, and then the Facebook again came up with that they were not removed, but certain error was there in the removing of this post. And if secondly, we can see, are they hampering the current authoritarian democratic system? Because when a political leader puts a tweet, then then their tweets are very much hampered. They're very much empowered by the real devotees of that political party. And it can be also assumed that the political leaders are using this platform as a propagative agenda. And so there is a chance that people might face a lot of backlash within their mental thoughts or rationality in trying to get the message. It can be said that government is controlling Facebook and Twitter now because of their image. They want to improve their image worldwide, and will they? And it is a concerning question that will this platform, that is Facebook and Twitter, remain in control forever or not? Furthermore, we can say that true journalism is about results. It's about affecting your community or your society in the most progressive way. So if this kind of things are happening, then how the country will develop or how the country will move further? Next is, satire is the best way as far as social media journalism is concerned. That as you can see in this picture, that memes are made, or kind of short story is written, or caricature is made of government to criticize this. So satire and this caricature are the things that only elite people or certain rational human beings will only understand. The mass people will avoid to understand this kind of thing. So this kind of things are practiced or are in the trend right now. Here are the works cited.
Okay, good. Well presented. Some of the important things that you can see is that when we make comments on the contemporary happenings, the things have yet not ended. Things are still ongoing. So it will be very early to say how or what things can turn out to be. If you remember, in last semester we discussed that article which was telling that international media is reporting India in a very negative way, and well, it seems like the article is quite true up till February, or March, mid-March. It seemed that their arguments are true, and then suddenly the things started changing so far as corona is concerned. And then now you may say that looking back at that article, things are a little bit problematic in that. So that's why when we make comments on contemporary things, that question always remains, that we don't know how these things are going to end, and ultimately what is going to happen. So it was good that you put the sides of both the things. Like if you say that Australian media is telling this, then government of India also is telling this, and that side is necessary. And if there is Amethi police is, and their side also is being presented when you put that side also there. So that balance or that way of looking contemporary is a necessary point when we try to observe those things, because things cannot be concluded. Things are still open, and which direction things will go, nobody can say. An academic is all about questioning rather than concluding or making judgmental statements. You keep on questioning that how things are going to happen, or because future we don't know. So this balance was well presented in your presentation also. Okay, questions by anybody? To students? Kinnari, Komal?
Yes, Kavish, a question for you. That is, as we all know, last year government put a restriction on the people that if you are sharing any information on any social media that is that is false, that you will be punished by the government. That according to you, that is relevant to punish them or not? Because I already observed that social media nowadays, social media helped a lot to everyone. So what is your opinion according to this, that it is relevant to stop them or not?
Well, as far as this genuine news or genuine authentic opinions are concerned, which are thought till the last, that what will happen next in 3 to 4 months. So as far as these things are concerned, then one should be given the freedom of expression by government, or it is the basic right to have a freedom of expression. But when people are, we usually find mass people are forwarding WhatsApp messages which carries a very less amount of relevance in them. So that kind of freedom is very much dangerous to a political nation or democratic nation like India. And as far as this human beings' rationality is concerned, then one should think further, analyze, cross-check, or verify with the actual news, and then only one should forward. Without that, this thing will go into very much worse situation. Thank you.